Welcome, true believers, back to Dominion, part 3 of day 20. Part 3 from day 20 of course, from day 1. We start in Astral Season to take a look at the two tasks that still remain, and that, of course, being the wins in Arena using both a warrior hero and a healer hero, both needing only one to complete. So we will grab our treasure chest from the mailbag and head there. Do stay tuned, of course. Markum and Art Bell are waiting on the other side of the bend here to go ahead and have their continuation of his time traveling antics. Fallen down in the arena ranking to 8,030. I normally say yes, but with 5-star, probably not, even though she is undefended up front. Get our one battle in here, and then we'll bring Markum and Bell to finish their time traveling talking antics. Looking for a good match for team skills. With a Yasmin fourth berry, definitely not. That might be our one. I think it will be. Let's go for it. Against Takatendo at 80,060. We have just about a 2,500 point lead. Not a great one, but without Astaroth and without Yasmin, definitely an open possibility. Their main line starting with Tristan, Maya, Arachne, Dante, and Phobos. We start 5, plays 5 here. Alright, one goes down. Both pets get involved. Alrighty, we're down to 1 left on their side. We lost 1 on our side, but that's all we lose as we go to 716th place in the arena rankings. Now we're looking at teams with 100,000 point totals. I think we're going to go for this one. Yes, he's level 76, so 16 levels are senior. But, again, no Yasmin, and just a basic Astaroth, Galahad, Arachne, Thea lineup mixed with Celeste. And they've already, both sides have used their last rites. Both sides keep their pet on. Mine got on just slightly before. And we're 5 plays 4 at the moment. Trying, but not quite enough to take her out yet. Astaroth goes down, so it's 4 on my side, playing 2. Both healers. There goes Celeste, down to 1. And my side wins 4, plays none. Down to 662. I would definitely have to think that that would be the highest best score that we've had. And since we've done so good, I'm going to take the plunge and really punch over our proverbial weight, so to speak. Now, when we do get Markum and Art Bell here, I will break when we do level up, because we are pretty close to going to 61. I do believe there are some yellow pluses that will turn green at that level. After we take care of the damage we need to, we will go right back to the Bell and Markum. Alright, last rate's been used on their side. My guy's just barely holding on to his last rate's ability. And, oh shoot, we lost the last. That is not a good thing. Alright, but it's 3 plays 3 now. Oh no! They got Yasmin and we lose the last battle of the afternoon. But with that chime, makes me think we're getting, yep, a new record. Not by much. The old record was 688, and now we're at 662. So the record only gave us like 5 emeralds. So with that being said, Midnight in the Desert now joins, and again we'll break off from that when we hit level 61.
It's the landline number, and you're welcome to give us a call and ask Madman Markum whatever you like. And otherwise, of course, Skype is active and ready at your beck and call, as it were. Mike, welcome back.
Yep, glad to be here.
Jasmunda from Down Under, I know he's in Australia. He's wondering if you were upset that you missed the Millennium New Year's Eve.
Well, kinda. Technically, the millennium wasn't so. Depending on who you ask, the millennium didn't start till 2001 anyway. So.
Good point. It is depending on who you ask, indeed. But of course, it just gone, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was kind of depressing, but I was at that point. I was more excited than depressed. So.
I completely understand. All right, I believe it's Trey from Atlanta. Hi, Trey.
Hey, Art. I'm sort of reticent to say this, but, you know, I feel like with Madman here, and it is a huge honor to talk to you, do you feel like even if you haven't personally, in perhaps this reality, have hit time travel, do you think an alternate version of you has?
Ooh. That's a pretty cool question. A lot of
if you consider like the multiverse theory, I guess if there's infinite versions of me, I guess so. I mean, if you think of it that way.
I mean, it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, by definition, basically, I mean, with infinite possibilities, everything that could possibly happen has happened, as far as that goes. I'm kind of more concerned about me rather than alternate me's. So.
Well, you are now how old, Mike?
According to my birth certificate, 42, but
really only 40.
Yeah, biologically I'm 40.
So at 40, you're in your prime. There's no question about it. You're in your prime, and
hopefully with luck I'll have another 40. So.
Well, maybe you will. And again, what are you going to do with it? I mean, somebody who's already done the incredible thing that you've done can't just give up.
Oh, of course. Of course not.
So you're gonna build, aren't you?
Well, if I can, I will.
Hello there. You're on the air with Madman Markum.
Hi. I think the missing equipment in the warehouse part of your story is the weak link. Because it's easy to find out who owns a commercial building. we all know all you have to do is go to the local courthouse, records department,
Sure.
or a realtor, or an attorney, and they will tell you the name of the owner of the warehouse.
All right, we'll get back to those questions in a moment. I'm a little surprised. I thought 61. Oh, yeah, we don't get to see him until we actually level up the actual hero. Yep, I was just racing a little ahead. 1 second. Let's get the main 5, providing we actually can. Okay, we can. Now we'll limit based on what is available. Alright, well, there's only asterisk, so there we go. Alright, so everybody's 61. Let's go out so we can see. And Astroff and Maya are the two that come up. So Astroff, boom, boom. So Astroff goes to +1. Okay. Raven's cloak, cloak, not quote. And the Elven shield. Gets that side of the board. Put up. And we get her buff. So we're looking at an Executioner sword, which is 65. And a Talisman, which is also 65. To go ahead and bring him up. Maya lost hers. Oh, it was the Siren Song. But that looks like it's over in a friendship shop. Do it. Definitely use a Serenity Stone. We'll take that. Quiver. And the Advisor. Really? Really? You need it? That's the Blade Bow. There. Now we'll at least make sure the top abilities. There we go. Alrighty, so we'll go back. Oh, hold on. No, that's 65. So even if we do it, that'll turn into a yellow. Alright, so we'll go back to midnight in the desert with the question about missing stuff from the factory.
And you're much too brilliant, and you're not much too practical to have overlooked this because of losing all of your equipment and your notes. What's your explanation for this?
Mm-hmm. And the video. I want the video too.
Well, basically, like I said, as far as the video goes, all that disappeared with the equipment. But
Right.
believe it or not, that didn't actually cross my mind. So as far as like looking up the realtor or the building or whatever. So
Why not? I mean, I would think you would definitely want to know what happened to your stuff.
yeah, and yeah. I mean, I would, but like I said, basically, you know what? That didn't actually cross my mind. I mean, like I said, at first I couldn't even remember. I didn't even have the brains to remember my own name. So
Well, I know that the stuff was there. I know
when I actually went back there, I actually stayed there for a week. But yeah, believe it or not, the week I was there, I didn't actually think to go to the courthouse. So,
Do you mean that you stayed in the warehouse for a week when you went back?
no, I mean, no. I just
In town?
It was, yeah, I mean, it basically, it made me really depressed being there and seeing it empty, so I got the hell out of there. So.
I totally get that. That would be depressing. It's like, where did everything go? Overseas somewhere. Hi there, you're on the air with Madman.
Hi.
Hi, where are you?
I am in Japan, and for some reason I'm hearing myself. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Good.
I was going to say that I feel kind of like I'm time traveling myself because I'm watching you on Periscope, and it's about 15-20 seconds ahead of the radio that I'm
It's a type of time travel.
Yeah. But, I guess I had two questions.
Sure.
One of them, or a question and a comment. One is that on the DARPA side of things, if everything that we hear is, or even if half of what we hear is true, I would think that they wouldn't really need you, honestly. I feel like, to a certain extent, they'd probably be way beyond what you're doing, and their only interest would be to shut you up, if anything. Yeah. They probably just figured, he'll burn himself up, or do it wrong, or won't remember, or we've already done that, so we don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of a good point, Mike. If you've done
you
this...
know what? That could be why they haven't knocked on my door. They already know more than I do. So.
There you go.
And the question
they have billions of dollars to do stuff with, so...
I didn't get to hear the whole show yet. I'll go back and listen to it when because I'm subscribed. But, you talked about the warehouse being empty. But did you have, like, a house that you were living in the town? Was that still there? Was your, like, personal possessions and stuff still there?
Good question.
Or did that get,
well, actually, at the time, the house I had at the time was in St. Joseph, Missouri. That was all long gone, too. That basically other people were living there now, so...
So your family or anybody, like, keep any of your stuff? I mean, do you have any personal belongings or anything? Because I feel like that would be like
I basically had to start over. So I'm sure basically, I don't know, well, what happens to the stuff when somebody disappears for 2 years.
You will hear, when you listen to the rest of the show, about his ID being gone, about it a lot. Trust me.
More or less, I basically was in the same boat with somebody's house burning down and with all their possessions inside. Basically in 2000 I had nothing. So,
I imagine when you went back to the warehouse, I'm sure it was just a gigantic, depressing moment.
Oh yeah, I mean,
here's what I imagine. I imagine that perhaps either whoever owned the warehouse or perhaps the tenant that came to the warehouse after you disappeared, literally, had everything just dragged away somewhere and probably put in, the junkyard. I hate to say that, but...
Yeah, I mean, well, those electromagnets are, probably, they probably sold it for scrap and got quite a bit of money from it because there was a lot of copper in that. So...
God knows they rip up copper, from... radio antennas have radials. They rip that up and sell it as copper. It's horrible what's going on. Daniel, hello, Daniel, on Skype. You're on the air with Madman.
Hi, guys.
Hi there.
This is actually Dimitri, and Daniel's my son.
Oh.
He was the one that put the call through, but I just wanted to say that it's a great honor to talk to both Art and Man Markum.
Thank you.
I've listened to the original broadcast back in the mid-'90s when I was a teenager, and I was fascinated by the story.
Well, in that case, can you verify that what you heard then is basically what you heard now?
Yeah.
Except for the new stuff.
I would say so. And as I said, many years went on since the original broadcast, and this story just stuck with me. It was always in the back of my mind. I would think about it every now and again. I always wondered what happened to Madman, and I tried every now and again to hop online and try to see if there was any new information. Just maybe a couple of months ago, I probably spent a whole day digging online and, came up with little things here and there, and actually found a story about him, appearing 800 miles away, and I thought for some reason that was some bogus story, but
no.
Now hearing it from, Michael Markum himself, I gotta say, hey, you know what, that really did happen. But what I wanted to ask is, okay, so there was a warehouse where all of this equipment was set up, and, I'm sure all these people were there watching Michael jump in, He disappeared. Obviously, there was something to this machine, to all this machinery. It wasn't just a joke. I mean, guy either teleported someplace, whether he went, forward or backwards in time, it doesn't matter, because either one of those scenarios would still be out of this world, and I just don't see anyone scrapping this stuff, because there is a lot more to it than just,
I don't know.
a bunch of Transformers sitting around. And I was going to say, tracking these people down wouldn't be that hard, because obviously at some point, there's someone's name that was attached to the lease or
Yeah, of course. You know what else? You know what else is also possible, caller, and that is that somebody did know exactly what happened, and somebody came in who knew what they were doing and took it all away.
Right. And then another thing I was going to ask is, whatever happened to the videotapes? I mean, I know, obviously, Michael doesn't know how to get a hold of any of these guys, but, you'd think that if something like this happened and someone got it on video, it's bound to make its way to YouTube. I mean, I've checked all over.
Okay, well, but the answer to that is, all that stuff, the recording of all this was done in the warehouse. So this stuff was in the warehouse, including the camcorder, right, Mike?
Yeah, a camcorder, several hours of footage, and my personal journal, basically, where I'm more or less write down the date and basically the experiments that day I did. So,
including, I would imagine, your ID and anything metal you had that you were carrying.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I usually had that on me until that day I was actually going to jump in, because I didn't want that basically erasing. So there's a magnetic stripe on the back, and if you erase that, yeah, you can't say it doesn't work anymore. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but these people were at the warehouse when everything went down, while the video camera was set up, recording the whole event. And so you'd think that one of those guys would probably grab the camera after the fact, or at least grab the tape, so they would have some kind of proof of, hey, you know what, I've witnessed a guy
either that, sir, or they didn't want any evidence of this.
True. Well, in any case, fascinating story. Loved it, and you know what, I really hope that Mike can go forward with this, and you know what, maybe put out a shout out, because I know there's a lot of people who listen to the show that would probably like to contribute, just like the folks back in the day did. And you know what I think?
Thank you. I honestly think that one of the better paths now for Mike might be to find a publicist and sit down with a publicist, and even if you have to do regressive therapy, in order to bring back some of the details that got blasted away when you went through, somehow commit all of this to paper and do exactly what everybody else in the world does, write a book.
Yeah. And I'm actually looking at this one guy suggests, I'm actually looking at the website now. Go to tell him to set up a GoFundMe account.
Yeah, GoFundMe or well, that's crowdfunding, right?
Yeah. Well, one thing I do want to avoid is, I know this one guy. He supposedly had some sort of free energy device, and they ended up sending him to prison for securities fraud. So I definitely don't want to basically end up going following his shoes.
No, we don't want you back in the pokey again.
Yeah, I mean, that's, as far as that goes, that's what basically. Well, he more or less said, "Here's a free. Here I have an engine that runs on water," and well, I guess he ended up filing his company on the New York Stock Exchange, and then he couldn't deliver, and well, basically they more or less sent him to prison for securities fraud. So
there are a few things that we do know for sure. We know you did the experiment. We know you ended up 800 miles away from the point of the experiment, and we know that 2 years disappeared. People are asking questions about the warehouse, but I kind of understand if everything was gone, you'd just kind of, throw up your hands in dismay, and you'd probably be a little disoriented. Hold tight. Man Markum is my guest.
Again, audio being dropped out, so the music does not make a copyright match. second they are back to talking, that will return as we continue here in Chapter 8.
Requirement to kiss Art's ring. Just good talk. Join Art by calling 1-952-225-5278. That's 1-952. Call Art. Actually, this is a remarkable interview, taking place 18 to 20 years, respectively, after the first interviews with Mike Madman Markum. And it is an incredible story. No question about it. I think it definitely deserves to be in a book with lots and lots of details. And is there anything left, Mike? Are there photographs, any pictures at all of the big equipment that you had set up? Anything?
No, unfortunately. I mean, the drawings, but basically those are redrawn from memory. So.
Right. Oh, that is so sad. So sad. And it seems to be something that happens in time travel stories that we get even from others. It's sad. Jack on Skype, you're on the air with Madman.
Evening, Art.
Evening.
Mr. Markum, I have a suggestion for you, sir. If you set yourself up a Patreon account and then link that with a YouTube account and start making a weekly video, I can pretty much guarantee that everyone listening tonight, and that's been listening to this kind of broadcast for the last 20 or 30 years, will subscribe to your YouTube channel. YouTube will start paying you, and then Patreon will start paying you. And that will fund your research. The only thing you gotta promise this little guy is that you're gonna keep us updated on your progress.
Do you want to do that kind of thing? It's a good suggestion. Do you want to get on social media? The trouble with it is, Mike, that it does make you, like a celebrity. And
yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes that's unavoidable, as much as I don't like it.
That's right. You're absolutely correct. So you consider that?
Well, you believe it or not, I already have like a YouTube account. I mean, I think it's been hacked because there's like stuff posting on it I didn't post. So,
that happens a lot.
Yeah, but
I know 2 years in the bigger scheme of things is short, but I'm wondering, were you jolted by the change in technology, because we are a fast-moving world? Was there any?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, basically I had to go to the library and catch up on what I missed. So.
Was there anything that surprised you in technological progress?
Well, yeah, I mean, somewhat. I mean, 1998. The main thing I would think, I was using first generation IGBTs in my time machine.
Right.
Well, they had by 2000 they had the second generation ones. So I'm thinking up they're like 6 or 7 now, but. Wow. But yeah, silicon technology was the thing that totally mostly blew my mind. So, oh yeah, they were making a big deal about gigahertz processors. Well, in 1998, they only had 233 megahertz, so that was a big leap.
Yeah, it sure has been. All right, Madman Markum and somebody in Colorado Springs, I think.
Hi, Art. This is Kevin. A couple comments.
Sure.
First, the question from the caller about why you wouldn't have ended up in space.
Yes.
If I jump exactly this moment in time, a year forward, would not I end up in exactly the same place I am now? The Earth would be in the same place in space.
Well, if it was exactly a year.
And that's what I.
Oh, I see. I've got you. So you're saying, even though it was 2 years, Mike,
keep in mind the sun's not staying put in one spot in space compared to. It depends on what your point of reference is. Even there's it takes like 12,500 years technically to be in the same spot, but you got to remember the whole Milky Way galaxy is also rotating.
Were you gone It's a good question. Were you gone exactly 2 years? Do you know?
No, it was actually 2 years and 2 months and some odd days. So,
really?
Yeah, but the thing is, as far as, when that question was asked before we went to break.
Right.
But, basically what happened was, the other end of the wormhole, so to speak, I don't know what else to call it.
Yes.
Basically, it more or less rides, it's riding the center of the gravity of the Earth, so I don't have to worry about ending up in space. So.
Wow. This whole thing is so incredible.
And luckily, I guess, it's, as far as stability goes, it's not dumping me in the middle of something, so that's actually good. That's actually what I was worried about. Okay, are all these hamsters? Are they end up in? It's like, are they end up in the middle of the parking lot or whatever? I mean, literally buried in the asphalt.
So maybe when you die, man, you'll walk through the pearlies, and there will be a whole bunch of hamsters and guinea pigs staring at you. Kenny, hello there, Kenny, wherever you are on Skype.
Hey, how's it going?
It's fine.
Yeah, that was going to be my question because you guys went to break, and why didn't he end up in space? And you guys forgot to answer that question. So that was my question. I was going to be reminding you to ask
so
that.
So your whole call is now useless. Or do you have another question?
I have a request. I do definitely have a request.
Okay.
Is there a way that you can come up with a compilation of all the times JC called you and put it on as a tribute? Because that guy was awesome.
I mean, okay. Well, maybe like a thank you, like a memorial. Because I think he's, well, I shouldn't say it because JC, I don't know where JC is. He may be.
Yeah, I've heard he was. I never listened to the show before yesterday, and I heard he was like some legendary heckler. So.
Legendary heckler is a way to put it, I suppose. Hi there, you're on the air with Man Markum.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. I just have a quick question for
Sure.
Festival, and I guess I'm curious to know about his familiarity with the intergalactic gravitational transportation associated with his time travel. I missed the first half of the call. I'm just curious to know if he used electricity to increase the magnetism and the gravity within his warehouse when he traveled.
Oh, are you a time traveler? Member of our time traveler club is what I mean.
No, I'm not, Art.
Oh, goodness. You need to go back and hear the beginning of this program because we detailed everything, and we can't go through it again.
My fault.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube, even the original 1995 interviews are on there. So
that's right. Well, of course, the big experiment is not part of that.
The
early stuff.
There was quite a bit that happens from 1997 up till
I should say.
2000. So
I'm sorry, caller. You'll have to find a way to hear the show. That's all I can say. All right, let's see if we can quickly do one before a masked man on Skype. Hello, going once.
Hello.
Yes.
Art.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a question. I'm wondering if he knows whether he is in the same dimension he left in. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Go to another Earth with another universe.
Good point.
Yeah,
well, I'm still here.
Yeah, like alternate reality. So
yeah, it would make sense. Even if all your stuff has vanished.
Well,
none of your stuff.
I mean, the change in
you would really expect none of your stuff.
Wait a minute. One at a time here. Caller, go ahead.
You would really expect none of your stuff to be around. It would be missing. It wouldn't be in the warehouse.
That's a kind of a thought. Mike, what do you think?
That's actually a possibility. I have no way of knowing for certain what the heck happened. But
maybe when you vanished, it did too. What? I've got a question. Was there anything on the floor? Were there scar marks? Were there drag marks? Anything at all?
No, there was actually a new tenant there. So
yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, I knew it.
So, I mean, there was anything, basically with where the main contraption was, I guess we'd call it, the main vortex generator or whatever you want to call it, where that was, there was a bunch of pallets stuck there, just like stacked there. So
a bunch
if there was skid marks or whatever, they were covered up. So
another tenant. Very quickly, you're on the air with Man Markum coming up in a break. Hi.
Hello, Art. Welcome back to the airwaves. This is Ryan out in the middle of the Sonoran Desert in Buckeye, Arizona.
Hey there.
Hi. I just wanted to know if there was a missing person report, because if somebody's jumped through something as he describes and there's witnesses, people are going to panic, like the owner of the building, potentially manslaughter, homicide, being complicit in.
Not to mention his family.
Yeah,
my family.
Hold on, caller. Hold on. We're getting an answer. Go ahead, Mike.
My family thought I more or less vaporized myself, and as far as everybody, that's why actually when I went back there, that's what I ended up. That was one of the first things I did was do a search for myself and to see if I can find the, like I said, missing persons reports.
All right.
All that stuff.
Both of you, hold on. I'll bring you back, caller. Stay right where you are. We're in break.
And once again, we'll keep him muted until the audio music trails.
But he's not. David in Los Angeles writes something that, as I bring back this caller and Mike, I think you all should hear. Art, I'm a real estate broker, and whenever someone just disappears from a property, we call a company to trash everything inside. Most times we have no idea, nor do we care what's going into the dumpster. Then we rent to a new tenant. That's how it works. Caller, you're back on with Madman Mike.
Yes, sir. And I just, it's a very fascinating story. I'm kind of like thinking maybe this was a story that would have been good for truth or trash. It's just there's too many holes in the story.
Like what?
A guy disappears for 2 years, and law enforcement, the media is not alerted. Somebody panicking that witnessed this.
I looked for the guy myself.
Well, and then he appears out of the field, out of the homeless shelter. There's got to be a record of him appearing there. And
I'm sure there is. Okay, Mike, is there a record of your appearance at the homeless shelter?
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I mean, they had security cameras in there, so. Well, I mean, I don't know if they still have that footage from this. Keep in mind, this was 15 years ago, so I don't know if they still have the footage or not, but.
Well, I understand it, but extraordinary claims, you have to have extraordinary evidence. I mean, it's a great story, but there's a lot of holes, especially where you disappear and there's all these witnesses. Nobody goes to the cops. No one goes to the media. And then, like you said, the credit cards.
Actually, hold it. Moving time. You're blasting a lot of things. The media did pay attention. And the media did, including me, nationally, went on the air and said, Madman is gone. We can't find him. And other media looked into it as well. Now, as the ladies will tell you, people disappear. It happens. And
because of...
Go ahead.
Gone because of this, him jumping into...
Through
his time machine, or just disappearing off the grid. That's two different things. I'm not trying to be critical.
No, you can be critical. It's fine. Be critical.
The story is just like, family members would have panicked, okay? If somebody would have said, hey, your son, your daughter, your whatever would have jumped through something like that, and he said they assumed that he vaporized, well, I would think they'd go to the police. And
I would too.
The guy that owns the building?
Well, all right, that's yet something else. You're jumping ahead. All right. Mike, let me ask you this. Your family. I asked that too. I don't know, and I have no right to pry, but I don't know how close you were to your family. I don't know anything about you with that regard. I mean, so are you surprised they didn't file a police report?
Well, I mean, I was actually, kind of, but not really. I mean, I talk to him every every, like, I mean, I don't call them like every day and tell them what I'm doing or anything like that. I mean, usually I call them I'd say maybe every few weeks. So, yeah, but.
Okay, let's try this. They knew what you were doing, didn't they?
Yeah, and I figured, well, okay, maybe, they assume, okay, I figured they'd have I mean, none of them have a life insurance policy that they tried to collect or anything like that, so.
Well, I'll tell you this, if I were writing a policy.
There was no, okay, I figured maybe if the world assumes I'm dead, maybe there'll be a death certificate of me. No, I guess the world assumed I'm still alive, so, because I can't find death certificate on me.
Well, after about a year, they can do that. Or maybe it's more than that. I really don't know. But
Me neither, so.
I was trying to say, if I was asked to write a policy on you, and I was the underwriter, I'd say no chance.
Yeah, I mean, the premiums for that would be insane.
Everybody has to remember, everybody knew what Mike was doing. He had been arrested. He had been in jail. He had collected this equipment. Then he had collected donations and money from broadcasting that we did. He had the warehouse. We know about that. And he had the resources to build the stuff he talked about. So we know an awful lot. Granted, there's some we don't know, but we know that much. William on Skype, you're on the air.
Roswell's Eric Bell.
I beg pardon?
Roswell's Eric Bell.
Well, Roswell's right back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mike, I've got a question for you.
Okay.
You said when you put your small animals through, they went up either east or west.
Yep.
Was it always the same direction, or was it one or the other?
It was, as far as I could tell, as far as trying to figure out if there was a pattern to it, it was the east or west was random.
So they either went east or west, but never north-south, caller.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
If he's traveling forward in time, he should always go in the same direction and either wind up above the ground or under the ground.
Well,
my next question is, if you saw them appear, did they appear on the ground or did they appear above the ground and fall to the ground?
Well, I mean, they were appeared above the ground. I mean, they were like basically on the surface of the ground. They weren't under the ground. And they didn't come back dead, so I'm assuming they didn't like pop in like high enough above the ground to where the fall killed them. So,
were any of them physically affected in any way that you could detect, Mike?
No, I mean they were perfectly fine as far as I could tell. No burn marks. They were. I mean, they even had their same appetite. I mean, as far as you could physically tell, nothing changed. So.
Okay. All right. Let's
obviously,
go.
It did something. It probably did something to the nervous system, but
as you pointed out, they can't talk.
Yeah. So.
Certainly did something to your nervous system. Hi there. You're on the air with Man Markum.
Oh man, that's such a wonderful broadcast. Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
Mike, this is just a phenomenal story. I've been following it for 18 years now, 20 years, however long it's been. I've had a lot of thoughts on ways you can do it. I'm kind of surprised that you've used as many animals as you have. The technology's evolved quite a bit now. If you do build again, and if you were to try to put items through, what about using something like GPRS or some sort of a tracker or a beacon and shielding it with like a Mylar bag, having the Mylar bag pop with, say, like a CO2 canister on a timer, and then you could also try to record like a stopwatch or have some other way to really see how much time has passed on one side of the coin.
Well, you can't take anything metallic through. And by the way, caller, real quick, hold on, caller, real quick. How many animals would you put through before you personally jump through?
Well, I would at least put through something with some level of intelligence like a dog. I hate to say that because I'm a dog lover, but something that can sit, shake, something that can, if I could see that it recognizes the man,
yes,
has some level of sentience after it, I might feel comfortable going through.
Okay. Well, I guess Mike may have considered and possibly rejected sending a dog or a cat. There was a rumor about a cat, but yeah, I do understand.
The cat. Well, the cat. Yeah, the cat never happened. So
a lot of cat lovers out there who would be upset.
Yeah, and I didn't want Peta knocking on my door, so.
All right. So somebody calling themselves Manila Thrilla, you're on.
Hey Art, it's Mike from Burbank.
Hey Mike.
I spoke to you on Truth or Trash.
Okay.
Hey, so the guy, had money. So did he have the money in the bank? Did he have a lot of interest when he got out?
You mean Madman had money?
Yeah, what happened to his bank accounts? What happened to the utilities that he was paying? Was he in arrears? Did he take care of that?
After you've been gone 2 years, it's all a good question, really, Mike. Did you have money in the bank? You were not a
You
rich
know
guy.
what? I wish I did. Basically, it was like one of those deals where it was like maybe $1 or something. I mostly spent all the money on basically parts for this thing, so.
I believe it totally.
So, and as far as the utilities go, usually once you get 30 or 60 days behind, they shut it off. So I'm assuming that's what happened.
They certainly do.
So I mean, basically when I came back, my credits was trashed. So yeah, that's probably what happened.
Okay, caller?
Oh, okay, Art, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate the call. You're on with Man Markum. Hello.
Hello?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, I'm here, and it's like I'm here looking on the internet, and it says that his stuff melted down.
Now, where did you, if I can ask, where did you read that?
It's the infobarrel.com.
I bet there's a million rumors about what happened.
There's about most of those stories. Don't take it word for word, basically what they're doing, since I was more or less kept to myself for the past 15 years, so more or less people guessing what happened. And, well, you know, you tell a story and you pass it to the next guy and it changes a little bit. Well, 15 years for that, it's going to be something totally different. Like, I don't know where that cat story came from, but it didn't come from me. So
anyhow, I know we don't have a lot of time, so I just got a quick question for you here. Okay, now you talk about body mass, right? And maybe you got projected 2 years into the future because your body mass is larger than, like, let's say, a smaller animal, if you get what I'm saying. Like, if you send something through, it appears a minute later.
Yeah.
So if you're larger, you're going to get projected further.
That's actually crossed my mind. I mean, it's kind of counterintuitive. I mean, like if you're taking a rocket to the moon or whatever, I mean, it usually takes more energy to transport more mass. So I think it would be working in reverse, but maybe that's not the case. So yeah, it's a possibility. So yeah.
You know, nobody should imagine that Mike has all the answers. He doesn't. And how could he?
Oh yeah.
He has told he has told you what he knows. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was just a theory on my part. You know. So.
Oh, nothing wrong with it. No, it's good you did. Thank you.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, thanks a lot. And I'll let you go so you can get into more callers.
All right. Take care. Yeah, Mike. I don't expect you to have all the answers. You have given us what you can give us about what happened to the animals, what happened to the inanimate objects, and then what happened to you. That doesn't mean you have all the answers behind, you know, how it happened, why it happened. And
yeah, I mean, that's why I'm trying to figure out. And most of this stuff at this point is pretty much hands-on trial and error. So, or educated guess, I guess you could say.
You could have tried to cash in on this a long, long time ago. You could have written a book, probably had a movie out of this, no less. So, frankly, I hope you do kind of cash in on it.
I mean, it's kind of at this point, I'm basically at the point where it's kind of a requirement if I want to basically advance the research more or less. So,
and that is really what you want.
I'm doing it for basically the learning, I guess.
Yeah, and that really is what you want. Is you want to continue that was heard?
Yeah.
That must be you starting your computer up to continue your...
No, it was an automatic restart of the computer. It's happened to be sitting in front of, so...
I understand. All right, let's go to Hartsville, South Carolina. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hello.
Hi, this is Ness from South Carolina.
You're kind of hard to hear, so get close to the phone or something.
Hi, Art. This is Ness from South Carolina.
Much better, yes. Yes.
Hey, Mike, I have a question, maybe somewhat off topic. I was just curious, let's say your creation or experiment would allow you to travel back in time to any period or moment you wanted. I was just wondering what time and why would you visit it, and is there anything you would change about it?
Well, believe it or not, I never really considered it because basically every way I know, it only goes forward. And even when it goes backwards, you can't go back to the day before you turned it on. So I never really thought about it too hard.
If you went back to the day before you built it.
Well, here's the thing about going backwards in time. This is why even theoretical physicists basically say you can't go backwards in time. For one, it violates every conservation law basically there is because, you can go back and meet yourself and then do that an infinite number of times. That's a lot of that's a lot of mass energy from nowhere.
Well, it sure is. Well, it's just been an amazing story with you now, spanning now decades. And I just wonder what the next step is. I like the idea of a book, but in terms of your actual experimentation, on the one hand, you could say, I'm done, I don't want to die. On the other hand, you could say, I'm not done, I'm still in my prime, and if I did a big machine before, I can do a bigger one now or do it better.
Yeah, I don't know about bigger. The last one was pretty big, and I did basically, it was like it was like probably 4 or 5 years worth of experimentation I could do with that before I decided to breed. Basically, I want to learn all I can. It's kind of like building a bigger and bigger particle accelerator. You want to basically milk it for all it's worth before you go build a bigger one. So...
A very fast question, maybe from Connecticut, I think. Hello.
Hi, am I speaking?
You are, but you've got very little time, so if you have a question, fire it out.
Yeah, I just want to know, do you really think it's time or probability states? Because I'm pretty sure there's no such thing as past or future, it's all the now, and you're really just changing probability.
Mike, do you have any comments on that?
I'm kind of like, if you ever read those books by Brian Greene, he has like 4 of them on quantum physics and all that. This is my personal view. My personal view is basically the future is actually every possible future exists simultaneously. We just can't see it. That's how I look at it.
All right. Well, Mike, it's been a pleasure knowing you all these years, decades now, and don't fry yourself alive, but on the other hand, don't give up, because we need people like you.
No, I plan to continue my experiments if I can, so...
Sure you do. All right, my friend. Good night. Get a good night's rest, and thank you for appearing on Midnight in the Desert.
It was fun, Bart.
Good night.
And that is the end of the Midnight in the Desert Man Markum Time Traveler. Originally aired over airwave and the internet September 4th, 2015, from a guest that he originally had on Coast to Coast AM back in the mid-1990s. We'll have to find something new for Art Bell to interview and go through tomorrow. I'm trying to get one of the blue rosaries here, and it's just not happening. I'm definitely getting the purples, which is good. Even if we don't need them right now, we will definitely have use for them. I'm just trying to get the one blue piece haven't been able to do so. Remember, we still have our dungeon to go, and we'll take a look at seeing if there's anything we can currently do over in the Guild War battle still to come. That is still to come here before we finish off part 3. And we finally get a rosary. Oh, thought I had 5. Okay. Go all the way out. Daily quest gets 1250. Alrighty, up we go. Alrighty. Yeah, we still. Yeah. Oh, we still got time. Fly by night, our new opponent. Alright, but that quick little. Ow! Had to do? Okay. Ow! Next time my sister goes, come on out with me, I'm gonna actually tell her no, because I am still feeling it. Alrighty, so let's see what the bridge trolls of this group are. 78, 76, and 144,000. I think we might be able to take with these. If we can take both, then we get a bonus for taking out the entire facility. Now you actually get control on the guild battles when you're fighting them. So I get control when I want to engage items. Heal. And that was it. Damn, that was fast. 20 points for the Imperial. Let's go ahead and do it again with the other half. And see if we win it. Just an inch more needing for the boss, for the battle to load. Here we go. To the guild arena for the battle. Alrighty, it's 5 plays 4 at the moment. And she went right after my Yasmin, which is actually a smart move by her. But, too bad. Emerald goes down, a fly by night. And we pick up 20, 40 plus the 40 point bonus for 80. As the lighthouse is knocked out. As well as the barracks was an 83 and 95. And the Mage Academy on a 75 and 85. Which now makes the score more presentable at a 380 versus 240 round. We may go into a little bit of overtime tonight for part 3, but I'm perfectly fine if we need to. 15 Chaos Particles tonight. That's a good little pickup. I believe these are just upgrades available. If I could do all 10, I'd think about it, but since we can't, we won't. Alright, level 60. The pet's still just one level behind. Oh, let's see. Chat bubble. Oh, we have a go. So, quick shout out to Kat from Wrath of the Valkyries for going ahead and sending us a message. We're always happy to see individuals reach out to us. Alright, how about our... Oh, we do have a full set of spears, so let's go ahead and run them. And we get 30 for Avalon. There he or she is. And, ew, we get screwed otherwise, as that's the only one. 14, however, for Avalon. Sorry, for Sylvia, among others. Let's see if that does make a change in the lineup. There is Hyperion in front, followed by Eden, the 2 Super Titans that we have. Sigurd, the Ice Tank. Vulcan. Fireboy. Moloch, the Fire Tank. Angus, the Earth Tank. Nova. As they used to say, Chevy Nova means it doesn't work. Mari. At 150. Now there's 2-star individuals. Sylvia at 120, 30 away, so if we can get just one of those 30s Depachi will go. Avalon is able to go. Shield Boy. And Enos is able to go. However, it's going to cost 600,000 gold total to be able to get the 2 up. Damn it. Titan Valley then. This is where you'll have the Tournament of the Elementals, among others. And we get big many black balls. We got 42 of those bad boys. Ain't gonna blow them all, but we'll run probably 1, maybe 2 sets. Real? Alright, first set. And the second set. One more. We'll keep the last one for tomorrow. Alright, so now we'll come over to the artifacts to see anybody get a plus, and we do have a handful of pluses. So we'll go to Sigurd first. Sigurd's on the board there. I'd rather bring, let's say if I'm going to bring somebody, I'd rather bring somebody with the actual power on board. Don't believe I have enough for 440 of these. Oh, wait, I do? No. 440. There's the second star. Alrighty. Going back to our guild war. Mine at the moment is 18,427. Same score regardless of using Angus tank or using Moloch tank. Alrighty, time to go into the function. Oh, grab the cards already, so we don't have to worry about that, but 251 is where we begin our function fighting today. And remember, we're 3 days away from Winterfest 2021 starting. I have a feeling whoever this new hero that they're pitching from next year's, that's probably going to be the hero of the event. more slice should do it. There we go. Onward to 263. Just over 30,000 opposing squad. Alright, looks like the audio's dropped out. And of course the audio comes back once the fight is already over. Sounds like Nexters. 254 now. 84 playing versus. Alright, and a winner. So 255. Everybody or fire. Everybody looks to be a winner. We'll move on. Everybody comes on out as we go down the back side. And it is a hero fight. 30,300. Taking on my squad. Alrighty, earth or fire. Let's take a look at both sides and see what we get. Fire, we lose half of the main guy. Earth side, they've already had one battle, but even after that, they're still at half. Which is actually good because if the fire door next, this would have been even lower. 259. Alrighty, earth or everybody. And down we go to our first set of new ones, 261. 30,700 playing the 84-260. $262, good old water boys. Let's actually fight this one directly, just so we can show off with an order fight. And water wins. $263 is the level. 30,700 land 84. Alright, let's see. Earth and fire. Earth would be just about gone on the main guy. Fire, same situation, but Earth has an extra fighter, so it could. Oh, second shuffle, it actually gave it a better ranking. Alrighty, down on their backside, 266. Alrighty, blue power door. We'll take our pass. 269. And we'll pick up our activate spear, which now lets us restart at 261. Alrighty. The boys and girls coming out. Again, we need 600,000 pieces of gold. I think we have one more airship task to send out. Nope, actually we don't. It was already done. Okay, we'll just collect it. Total keys we managed to pile up now is 121. Again, you might wonder why, but plan to get a Winterfest episode or multi-part episode out sometime this week once Nexters finalizes. I don't want to be caught down kind of like we did for the Black Friday using last year's information and then them switching out the prizes that were available for the cyber chips. Anything else in the quest envelope? Oh, wait, what's going on? Oh. Okay, so we can get the energy whenever we need it. We have the 5 portal charges. We have energy available in world Pioneers. We won't, unfortunately, be able to save them all the way. To the day. So we still have a 150 and 180 with the emeralds to pick up. Before that time, that'll be 150, 125, 275 in emeralds. Remember, if we wish to, we can pick up energy if we spend another 7,500 minimally. Then it isn't that drastic of a deal. It's only 500 for the first two. Then it's only 1,000 until 5. Then it goes 1,500 until you get to 10,000. That's when it starts jumping up 5, 10, and the like. Emerald boom's more deal. If you decide you want emeralds, it's kind of like the last chance. They've been giving us a couple chances for the first few weeks to really buy in. See, for instance, if you buy 3, you get 500 free. You get more than 100%. And if we take a look here, don't know if that would actually count as buying 300 or if that only counts as the base buy-in of 110. But for instance, if you buy that one and it counts as deal, it only costs you 99 cents to have basically 830 emeralds, because you get 330 for that plus the 500. On the second level, 900. Okay, so you can't buy 9 unless you buy multiple packages. But for instance, we go here, 559 gets you 23. 23 doesn't quite get you the second, but it gets you this one. So for 559, you get 23 plus another 15. So you'd get 23, 3,800. The next purchase point is here, 1129, 4950. I think these numbers are designed that way for free. Okay, no, because it's 8's the next one. So you get these 3, so you'd get 3, 4, 4,500 bonus plus the 49. So you get 9450 for the 11. On the 30, it's 14,3. 14,3. Just shy of getting that second one. Gets you this one. So instead of 45, it gets you 9,500 more. And that's for 30. Top prize is 22,110. That's for 46. But 22,110 gets you another 10,000 emeralds. So 22, 32, 37, 40, almost 42,000 when you're all said and done. And then once you're done there, you'd have to probably buy it one more time, get to 25, and buy it twice to get to 75,000. Alright, who's got the sword? I think it's Galahad. I want to see if I can try to win a needle from a fight. Alright, for the needle, let's fight for that needle. Take it a little faster than normal. We are in bonus time. And we didn't get the needle. So, with this episode running long as it is, we will call it there, level 61. We will push on towards 62 and higher. Remember, our next unlock occurs at 65, the land of Asgard. So until then, make sure your fights are valid here in Dominion, Rock, Roll, and everything else. Please like, share, and subscribe. Get us to those goals, both Nexters and YouTube. Now over 10% the way to the Nexters goal. And of course, as we always say in my guild, release the Krakens. See ya on day 21. Remember, winter is coming. Winterfest, it is. In just 3 days.